All right, it looks like we're live. Yep. All right, it's the 29th of September, 2022. One more day left in September, and then we're in October, spooky October. Okay. So, anyways, October's almost here, and if you live in Florida, we have family there that got hit by this. We know a lot of people in Florida. They got hit by that bad storm, and man, there's a lot of flooding. And just keep all of them in your prayers. And if there's anything any of you can do to help, then let's do that also. So yes, I know several of our members will be going down there to take care of the water damage and mold and stuff like that. Anna lives in Florida. She'll be going down there. So if any of you are in an area where you need help with water damage, Anna's going to be down there. Anna Compton lives in Tampa, but she's going down there with her crew. She's licensed to do mold mitigation. So yes, look at that also. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the 100-gram tablet and all the uses that it has. And the reason I want to do this on Saturday, so we got like actually by tomorrow at midnight, by Friday the 30th at midnight, we're going to have to go up on our price on our 100-gram tablets. We're still going to be the lowest in the country, but because of tariffs and all this stuff, because they're imported, have gone up so much, we're going to have to raise our prices. But until then, so today, if you get a hold of Craig or I today, or Mike or anyone that any of us, if you get a hold of us and make your pre-order today, the ship gets in on Monday the 3rd of October, and it will probably ship out of our warehouse within 10 days from there. All right, so you can pre-order up until midnight, and you're going to get the price it is right now as of after midnight tonight, or Friday, midnight Friday. No, tonight, because okay, let me back up. As of midnight tonight, we got to have your order in. You got to pay for it up front to get that special price, and then it is ship out in about a week or so. Okay, like 10 days after Monday when it gets to our warehouse. All right, so let's talk about the 100-gram tablet. Let's talk about all the uses. And I was thinking about this. Man, there are so many uses for this tablet. It is such a versatile product for deodorization, for killing, for allergen control. There's so much that it does, and but sometimes, a lot of times, we don't talk about all the uses, right? We know that we use it. A lot of you that are in the group, right, in our private groups, and I'm on my public page also. You may not know about this, but we use these products for deodorizing homes that have a bad smell. Like it could be somebody smoked in the house for 20 years, 30 years, or even less. Somebody smoked in there for a year and it smells like smoke and they're trying to sell it, or they have a family member come into the house that might have emphysema or something like that, and they've smoked in the house and they got to get that smell out, and they can no longer smoke in the house because that family member that's coming to live with them so they can take care of them can't handle that smell. So you're going to have to get rid of that odor. A lot of our jobs are where people are selling their house, and now they got to get rid of the odor because the potential buyer is not going to want to buy that house. Now, a year ago, that wasn't true at all. People were buying houses unseen, $100,000 over asking, because interest rates were so low just to get it. Now, because of interest rates going up, because we do advertising for a lot of people around the country and in Canada, so we're starting to see that turn now. People are having to get rid of these odors, and the best way to get rid of it is with our product, because it absolutely works. We have 100% guarantee, as all of you know. So that's one use, right? We can use it to deodorize a whole house, right? Now, what about, I have a friend that owns a kennel, and they have 50 kennels on 40 acres here in Colorado. And it's been his lifelong dream to own a kennel. And I remember he worked for me for about 15 years, and they started their own business and have done extremely well on their own. But I remember meeting him, and this is 21, 22 years ago. Um, um, I keep getting these. I got a new Apple Watch, man, is pretty cool. The Ultra, it's like really cool. It does all kinds of stuff. It's going to tell me when I'm dying. So this is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to know. So listen, he owns this kennel. And I remember meeting him on an interview when I was going to hire him a little over 20 years ago. And in the back of his truck, he has a kennel, and he had his dog that he was training. So he's been into dogs since he was since he was a teenager, and his whole family does dog training. So they're really into it. Finally, his dream comes true, right? They make enough money in their restoration business and their remodeling business to buy this property. So now they get this property with 50 kennels. They got all these dogs in there, and they had a slight problem. I think it was, I wrote it down. Hold on one second. It was canine parvo. I think they had a problem with that, right? So he needed something other than bleach to kill, to sanitize all of the dog kennels, right? Because they're indoor, outdoor. The outdoor, you don't need to worry about it's dirt. The indoor, when they come in, is concrete, right? And it's heated concrete in the wintertime. And the place is air conditioned. Is actually, I could live in one of those kennels. It was so nice. But they have that problem because when you have a lot of dogs, you know, this kind of stuff happens. Kennel cough, parvo, those kind of things. Chlorine dioxide will kill parvo at 10 parts per million, but it does nothing to deodorize at 10 parts per million because it's way too light. So we like to mix it around 100 parts per million. So we're actually killing odor and any kind of disease that we're trying to get rid of. So he started using our tablets. He has a 50-gallon tank inside the kennel, and he puts 2 of our 100-gram tablets in there, and that will do about 106 parts per million. So he's got 50 gallons of solution that he uses throughout the week to mop with. He'll put some in a bucket. He'll go in there and he starts mopping all the rooms, right? You know, and not only is he getting rid of that parvo infection, but he's deodorizing at the same time. Bleach does not do the same thing. It is not the same. And our product is low cost enough with what it makes. It's even less expensive in a lot of situations than bleach. So, and it's not a carcinogen like bleach is. Bleach is a carcinogen, as we all know. Chlorine dioxide is not. That's why a lot of water plants are starting where our water is, you know, where we get our drinking water, where they got to clean that water before we drink it. A lot of them are moving to chlorine dioxide because it's much, much safer than chlorine, bleach. They're not the same thing, even though they have the same name. So a lot of companies are starting to do that now, a lot of water plants. Not only that, you know, when they spray your vegetables at the supermarket, a lot of supermarkets now use chlorine dioxide because it kills bacteria. And bacteria is what makes all that produce degrade faster. So they're trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep it clean. And in our house, my wife and I, we rinse our vegetables when we get it and stuff in a light solution of chlorine dioxide. We'll do that to kill anything that's on it and help prolong it. And then I also use one of our 50-gram sachets that we sell. I also use one of those, and I put it in the fridge, and it makes everything last like way longer because it gets airborne, the chlorine dioxide from the little pellets from the sachet, and it kills bacteria. And bacteria is what makes everything wilt and go bad, right? So we're keeping everything fresher. So anyway, 100-gram tablets, you know, you can make 25 gallons of solution with it. Now remember, all of our other tablets are 4-gram, our 10-gram, and our 20-gram. All are the same. They're all 24% sodium chloride. They're all 6.5 pH. They're all stabilized tablets. But today we're talking about the 100-gram, our largest tablet. And, you know, in the past, a lot of you that have worked with me for several years now know that we used to use kits, right? We used to go into these homes to get rid of odors with these kits, and we'd have to stir part A really good, right? Because the acid side is very hard to dissolve. I would use like one of those paint mixers on a drill to really get it mixed up good. And then we have a part B in another bucket, and we'd have to mix that and make sure it's all dissolved so it doesn't pop out of the bucket because of bigger chunks. And then we put them together, and then we'd be ready to put our air bubbler in and start the deodorizing process in a home, right? So one kit would do 500 square feet. And so if we had a 2,000 square foot house, we had 4 stations, right, that we were setting up with these kits. Now with these tablets, we're taking 3 tablets, putting them in the water in a bucket, turning on our air bubbler and leaving. It's like seconds compared to several minutes. It's so much easier. And not only that, it's less expensive. So think about this. You got a product that's less expensive than a kit. You got a product that's not only less expensive, but you drop 3 tablets in a bucket and you're done. As opposed to stirring this stuff to try to get it dissolved, that takes a minimum of 5 minutes. This is 5 seconds. So it's lower cost and 5 seconds compared to 5 minutes. And, so it's much safer for your employees. You know that when we're creating a high parts per million of gas, we got to wear our respirators with our vapor cartridges because we're creating a lot of gas. And then once it dissipates, it's completely safe. It turns back into a simple salt. It's like living on the ocean. Like I was born in Monterey, California, where the ocean is, all the salt air, right? It's like that. You don't see salt all over your house. It's not like there's a bunch of residue of salt. That's not it. But that's what it reverts to, right? So it's completely safe. It's not a carcinogen, so it doesn't leave a residue. So it's a great product for deodorizing. If you're going after big areas, like I've used it like this. I remember when I moved to North Carolina, I got a call from a company, about an hour from me. And I can't remember the name of the little town. I was living in Wilmington, North Carolina. It was about an hour away on the coast. So I meet this guy. He has this job because he's been watching our videos and our trainings. And he goes, I just got a call from a gentleman that owns this square brick building with no windows. And there was a refrigerator in there that had shrimp in it. And when the people vacated the place, the electricity was turned off. That all melted and got all over the concrete because it was a concrete floor. I've never been in a building in my life that had a back door and a front door and no windows. I couldn't even understand how somebody can work in an environment like that. But maybe it was built like that so nobody could see and there was a reason for it. Who knows, right? But it was kind of eerie sitting in there. But I remember walking into this building with the contractor, and I had to go out. Not only did I go out and put my face mask on with my vapor cartridges, but I put Vicks under my nose. You know how a lot of you that are in restoration know this trick. You go into like a dead body scene and you got to clean that up, and the smell is atrocious and you're gagging. We use Vicks, right? Vapor rub under our nose because it takes away that smell. Even when you have a face mask on with the right cartridges, you still kind of smell it a little bit. So that always helped. But it was so strong, I put Vicks on and I put my mask on, right? He didn't have one, so he stayed outside. It was unbelievable how bad that shrimp smell was. It was because this building's closed up, and it had tight doors. So you open the door and it almost knocks you over. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, man, how are we going to get rid of this odor? Anyway, so so think about this. We take our 100-gram tablets, okay? And instead of making 106 parts per million in 25 gallons of water for cleaning, I put it in 1 gallon of water, right? And I start pouring it on the concrete floor. There's nothing to damage in here. It's concrete walls. It was actually center block walls, concrete floor. It was all concrete. So I pour it on there. Okay. Now let me share my screen. Let me show you something that you guys might not know about. Let me just show you this. Okay. Let me go to share. Okay. I think we're sharing. Let me just go. If you go to EnvirotizeSolutions.com, right up here in the menu bar, not the menu bar, the URL bar. Okay. If you go to EnvirotizeSolutions.com, you land on our website here. Okay. And if you go to what is chlorine dioxide, click on that. No, wrong thing. Sorry. Resources. I'm sorry. Okay. But you can go to that if you want to know what chlorine dioxide. Go to our calculator. So let me just go back. Let me start over. Okay. You're on EnvirotizeSolutions.com. Go to resources. Go to the calculators and use tables. If you're in here, you can go to the 100-gram tablet. So you can do this. Now watch. See where we have a 100-gram tablet? We want to know what the parts per million are. So if I put 100-gram, okay, I got, let's just start with 25 gallons. So like I was talking about, 25 gallons and one tablet is 106 parts per million, just like I told you. If I put that down to 1 gallon of water, that's 2,642 parts per million. So that's what I did, right? So you can use this any way you want. Like you might want to know. So if I'm doing 3 tablets and I'm going to gas off a house, no, my bad. So let's say 1.5 gallons of water. This is the water and 3 tablets, right? Now we're at 5283 right here for the 3 tablets and 1.5 gallons of water. You know, so you can figure out. Hold on. Hey, Chris, I'm on my 30-minute show right now that I'm doing. You got to call me in like 10 minutes, but I got to go. All right. I do a live show. Huh? All right. 10 minutes. Bye. Okay. Hey, so then, you know, you do 1.5 gallons of water. You got 3 tablets, 5283 parts per million. Okay. So you can figure out if there's a certain parts per million you're trying to get with our product, just use our calculator right here, right? If I bring that down to 1 gallon, it changes. It's to 79, right? So parts per million, leave in that bucket. Now, remember, when it gets airborne and it fills up a cavity, it pretty much equalizes to like 8 parts per million. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Let me go back here. All right, so here we are. All right, so remember, you can use our calculator at EnvirotizeSolutions.com. Anyway, I took a gallon. I took that a gallon of water. I took that 100-gram tablet and I poured it on there. So I did this like 5 times. I put like 5 gallons on this floor because where it melted out of this refrigerator, it was a freezer. And where it melted, you could see the dark circle where it was wet, where it sat, where the water, when that freezer defrosted, it was an old freezer. So I'm sure it was full of ice and all defrosted with that shrimp smell. I don't know if you've ever smelled something this bad. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. And I was in, you know, restoration where we would go into places like the worst smells in the world, right? Like dead bodies and stuff. This was by far the worst I've ever smelled. Even worse than the day I did that rabbit that died inside of a condo that was vacant for a couple of months and it had maggots in it. And oh my gosh, that was bad itself. But I didn't have chlorine dioxide back then. That's like, oh man, I was in Red River. That's like 30 years ago. Anyway, so I, you know, you take our product now and I poured it on there. I was putting it in a gallon. So I had 5 gallons total and I poured it. And what was really cool looking is it's high enough parts per million where it's going to gas off of the floor. It looked like a concert. Have you ever seen those concerts where they use dry ice and it's like all that gas is coming up, right? And it's really cool in a concert. That's what it looked like. It looked like that. It was really strong. So we did that, and then I went in there and we gassed the place. And this was okay. It was a 25 by 25. I think it was like 625 square feet. It wasn't real big. I mean, it didn't even have a bathroom in there. Not even sure where it was a square with a refrigerator, and they probably had desks. It was weird. So maybe they had an outhouse for this place or something. So I gassed the hell out of it, right? So think about it. Now I was using kits back then for gassing, but so if I was going to do it now, we put 3 kits in there because it was so bad, and we had the ground saturated also. So now I would use like 9 tablets in 3 buckets, right? Instead of 3 kits, and it'd be less money, and it would take a second, 30 seconds, and I'm done instead of 15 minutes. Okay. So anyway, we left, came back the next day, and the smell was gone. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe we actually got rid of a smell that bad. Now, how much did the liquid do? It's hard to say because I did both, right? But that's how I deal with the floor. So anytime you're dealing with, a lot of you do urine, like cat urine is the worst, man. It's way worse than dog urine. And sometimes we go into homes where it's so bad that you got to remove the carpet and the pad and deal with the subfloor. The subfloor could be on a second level where it's wood subfloor, right? It's wood. It could be in a basement where it's most likely concrete, right? Because it's a concrete slab. So it's the same process. Once you get all that carpet out of there, because and a lot of times this is why we wouldn't take carpet out. There's only two little spots, right? So we're going to deal with that. We're not going to remove the carpet. I'm talking about extreme jobs where you go in and these people were like raising cats and had a lot of cats, and you use your black light and it's everywhere. So if you can see it on the top, it's about 3 times bigger on the bottom. So it's like the whole carpet is saturated. There's no way to get rid of that odor. Anyone that tells you they can, they're crazy. It's impossible. You can mask that odor for about a week, but you're not getting rid of it because you can't get to the subfloor. And all that urine has gone all the way down to the subfloor. And it's going to, because what it does, even pet-proof pad, I used to sell it. I had a flooring company. After a while, that acidic urine is going to eat through that plastic part that protects the subfloor, right? It holds it on top and eats through it. How do I know this? Because I've seen it 1,000 times being in the restoration industry for 27 years. So it eats through that, and now the pad is a sponge, right? So as the cats are urinating, that sponge is sucking it up and spreading it, right? So now it's everywhere on this floor. And so you pull all this up, and the whole floor has been saturated with urine over years and years, right? It depends on how long. We've done a lot of extreme jobs where they've been doing it for years, and it was really bad. And so now you're going to do the same process. You're going to take our 100-gram tablets, like a gallon of water. You can go up to 2.5 gallons with 100-gram, and it's still going to be fairly strong. Use the calculator, see where you want to be. If I'm not going to bleach anything out, if I'm not worried about bleaching something, I'm going strong. If I'm doing the carpet, I'm going 106 parts per million. I'm not going to use a 100-gram tablet. Then I'm probably going to use like a 4-gram to make a gallon, or a 20-gram to make 5 gallons at 106 parts per million. Because even though we're stabilized, if you get it like 5,000 parts per million, you're going to bleach it, right? That's way too strong because it will gas off right off the floor. So we did the same thing. We would put that on the floor. We would cover the floor with like painter's plastic and let it sit for 24 hours because we really want it to do its job and not evaporate, right? And a lot of times we would even introduce enzymes also, okay? So now we take that plastic up, we clean it one more time for whatever is wicked up, and now we got to dry it. So when you're doing a urine job, you got to dry it because it's going to smell worse in the beginning. Because what does water do? Even chlorine dioxide, what does it do? It starts activating the bacteria, which is the smell that you're actually smelling. So we got to, once we dry it, it really lowers it, and then we can gas the place, right? So that's how we do extreme urine jobs. We saturate it, we cover it, we uncover it, we clean it, we dry it, then we gas. Because remember, that urine smell, if you can smell it, it's not just in the concrete or the wood subfloor or the carpet. It's airborne, or you couldn't smell it. You'd have to put your nose right down in the carpet fibers and smell it, right? If it was only right there, it's airborne. So it gets in furniture, it gets in walls. Those odor molecules are everywhere. What does chlorine dioxide do? At 0.124 nanometers, it's small enough to penetrate deep into every surface, right? So now, and that's like, it's like 8,000 times smaller than a micron. So it's extremely small. It's getting into everything because we got to go where those odor molecules went also. That's why a lot of times clients will hire somebody to get rid of urine in their house, and they won't take the carpet out, and they'll do this, and it smells really, really good for a week or so. And then the smell comes back with a vengeance, right? So they spend all this money over and over on these carpet cleaners that don't know what they're doing. And then they call one of our preferred vendors, one of our contractors to come out, and they're already broke because they've already spent all this money and it didn't work. And now they want to use us for all these deals, right? So the thing about it is, you got to do it correctly, and you got to know what you're doing. But these 100-gram tablets are so versatile on jobs like that because you're able to have a very high parts per million with this tablet, make a couple of gallons. I like using a gallon at a time, but you're getting rid of a very strong odor that took years and years of penetration. You're trying to recreate that, which is impossible anyway, because how are you going to recreate 10 years of urinating? So we try to flood that concrete. And then when we're done gassing, probably 50% of the time, we have to seal that subfloor or either concrete or wood, because you're never going to get it all out. Because like what I just said, how are you going to recreate 20 years of urinating? You can't, unless you pour stuff on there for 20 years, right? A little at a time, and get deeper and deeper. But our system usually works, but it starts with that 100-gram tablet to start getting rid of that really bad odor. Now, remember what I said. We have cases of 120 tablets, and right now you can pre-order up until midnight tonight. Today is Thursday. You can pre-order it at our price today. Give us a call. Give Craig a call. Give myself a call. It's the same price as it's always been up until midnight, and then it goes up $120 a case, $15 a box. A box will have 15 tablets. You can't pre-order a box. We're not going to let you do that. You got to pre-order an entire case. That's the only way you can get it. Remember, we're pretty much a lot of times wholesaling these products, so you got to buy the case. But so if you want to get the price and save $120 off of a case, you got until midnight to do it. Okay, it's so versatile, and a lot of our clients that do odor control go through a case. Some of them go through a case a week, or even less than a week. And some of you that are a little slower in smaller areas, you might go through a case in a month and a half, right? But this is the time to get that really good price that we've been giving you up until midnight, the 29th of September, okay? And then we're going to honor our original price until then. After that, we can't, because our price just went up because of tariffs and all the expenses now to import, and how it's almost tripled since the last time we've gotten an order, right? It keeps going up more and more and more. And some of you, listen, why don't you just buy American? Well, because if I did that, you'd be paying $1,000. You'd be paying a whole lot more. There's no way to compete. Like, we just can't, right? No one does that. Even the big companies out there import from overseas. And don't let them tell you they don't, because I found their product overseas, and you know who I'm talking about. They're not making their products. They're having it imported just like we are. All right. We're just giving you a better price. And we have our own exclusive product that's 24% sodium chloride and 6.5 pH. So there's a big difference in our product and compared to other products out there. But it works. We've done a lot of jobs now. We've sold tens of thousands of tablets over the last year with great success, right, on all these jobs. So we know it works. 3 tablets, gallon and a half of water, 500 square feet is the norm. I think I was saying the other day, we have a client in Houston that has backed off, like on really bad smoke jobs. He's doing it 3 tablets and 375 square feet and is having 100% success with that. He was having about a 90% success with extreme smoke smell doing 500 square feet. Now, I've only tested it in a dry climate, Colorado, so I don't live in a humid climate, so I've not been able to test that. And it's the first time I heard that we had to back off a little bit. But even with that, we're cheaper than anyone else out there, so it doesn't really matter. He just wants to have 100% success because it costs a lot more money to have to go back. But most of the time, we're good at 500 square feet and 3 tablets. Listen, if you're doing, we got one more minute. If you're doing an allergen control, chlorine dioxide is the best product in the world for allergen control, right? And you can do like 1,000 square feet for 3 tablets, right? Because we kick ass on allergens. We denature them. Your body no longer recognizes them. Remember, remember the story in the beginning, my friend that owns a kennel. It doesn't matter. You can have products for like all of your cleaning. You're doing flood damage, sewage damage, and all that. Use our chlorine dioxide product. It's safe. It's way less expensive, and that's what you can clean everything with, right? After you get the bulk out, right? Then use our product to clean with, because it's safer for your employees. There's products out there that are way more dangerous than what's on that floor from sewage backup, right? That are very bad for you to breathe in. Our product is not, especially at 106 parts per million. All right. Everything's on sale. The 100-gram tablet is at the regular price until midnight tonight. Buy it, use it. Have a great day. God bless. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.